There are a lot of very stupid things said about Fortnite. We've covered a bunch of these. Prince Harry saying that it's created to addict and ruins children and that it should be outlawed. Major news outlets basically blaming it for children's outlandish behavior. Dr. Phil dealing with children who have parents who don't know how to parent. Fortnite, due to its popularity, has become sort of this huge game on one side. Like in the gaming community, it's pretty much the biggest game on the block. It has been for well over a year now. It's got a lot of support, it's extremely popular. I mean, it's basically like Minecraft in the sense that the game blows up and it becomes like a cultural phenomenon beyond gaming. Kids are wearing Halloween costumes, there's shirts, backpacks. There's a whole row of toys at Walmart based around this game. There's Nerf guns. I mean, how much more mainstream can you get than a Nerf gun toy? But then on the other side of the aisle, you have these really, really stupid people who don't play video games, who think that Fortnite is like a biblical plague that is here to just wipe out the planet, and like every child who plays it will rot in their seat and disintegrate into thin air. And with that right side, that side where there's just a bunch of stupid old people who don't play the game, have no idea what they're talking about, they have a tendency to say some very stupid things. However, I think that this article alone, it has probably the complete package, okay, when it comes down to just how dumb it is. So we're going to be taking an article called Fortnite Teaches the Wrong Lessons and just throwing that one into your brain because, well, I mean, let's be honest, Fortnite is bad. Children playing a video game is bad. There's violence in it. There's possibly swearing if there's people playing with their mics on. It's a dangerous game. Children can be influenced severely. The human brain cannot distinguish between a video game and real life, therefore they believe that they're actually in combat. It's insane how far we've gone with technology. This is coming from Nicholas Tampio. Probably the Einstein of our generation here. So, in recognition of the fact that Fortnite has quickly become one of the most popular video games in the world, one played by more than 125 million players, I decided to play the game myself in an attempt to understand its widespread appeal. As a parent and as a political theorist who focuses on education and its impact on democratic society, I couldn't help but notice how much the game seems to teach children the wrong lessons about how to function as an adult and interact with others. I came away from my Fortnite experience thinking that the game is raising young people to be self-centered, not good citizens. I would love to know where he came up with this. I'd love to know what in the game made him believe that young people will be self-centered, not good citizens. I'm assuming it's probably because you can kill the other players and like emote on them and talk trash and whatnot. Because I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but Fortnite never really existed before like 2017. And before that, we never had violence in the world. And we never had people trash talking. We never had problems like this in society before Fortnite came along. I mean, once that line kind of hit there in 2017, the world just started collapsing. I think you can take a look at all the big political events. I mean, Venezuela's in crisis right now. The Notre Dame burned down. America is just a complete dumpster fire at this point. Iran is messing with us. We might go to war with them. The world's just falling apart, man. North Korea is probably still building nukes. And it's all because of Fortnite. It's not because, violence is just a natural thing in nature. It's nothing like that. War never existed. I don't know if you knew that. War never existed before this. And, when this came along, it is now raising the young people to be self-centered, not good citizens. By saying at the beginning, as a parent and as a political theorist who focuses on education and its impact on democratic society, here is my completely uneducated opinion about a children's video game, it's kind of like me saying, as a YouTube connoisseur and a creator on the platform for nearly a decade at this point, who focuses on gaming content and stupid articles like this, I couldn't help but notice how much quantum physics really affects the real world. I am now an expert on this topic because I watched one small TED Talk about it. See how stupid that sounds? See how unqualified I sound to speak on something that I don't know anything about, even if I have, dabbled in it a little bit? Some may question why a political theorist wishes to weigh in on the impact of a video game. Yeah, I'm sure he's going to have a great response to this question, which actually is a very good point. It's a very good question. Why does this guy wish to weigh in on the impact of a video game? Because it's literally not affecting politics or, democracy or anything at all. Why do you want to weigh in on the impact of a video game? But political philosophers, going back as far as Plato, have long recognized the influence that games have on the body politic. In the 18th century, for instance, Swiss political I almost really just pronounced that wrong. Philosopher Jean-Jacques Rousseau, I have no idea how to pronounce that, noted the games establish habits and attachments that will shape what kind of political actors children become. If that's the case, did every Donald Trump fan play Pong as a child, you know? What point are you trying to make here? This isn't making a point. You're not showing any evidence. You're not giving any reasoning. Just stating something doesn't necessarily make it true unless it's like common sense behavior. You know, this is not common sense. This is something that you would think that he would understand. Hey, maybe I should show some evidence behind what I'm saying. But no, he hasn't yet. For that reason and others, I believe it pays to seriously examine the influence that Fortnite might have on how children come to view society and the world. Children are not looking at Fortnite and just like determining that, hey, this must be how the real world works. You know, you do realize children have gone outside and interacted with the world, right? You do realize that children aren't like, hey, that big room's gonna open up and we're gonna get to pickaxe which gun we want to get unvaulted every time we elect the president, you know? Come on. Children are dumb because they're children, but they're not this stupid, you know? Come on now. A Fortnite education. Asian. But first, a little background on the game itself. In the most popular version of Fortnite, Battle Royale, couldn't even spell that right, which it's literally plastered along the game. Jesus, this already makes me think that he has never played the game. Your character drops from a floating bus onto an island with other players where the goal is to be the last survivor. You run through forests, urban landscapes, and fields, collect weapons and health potions, kill other players, build structures, and dance. Wow, that's a real wrap-up of the game there. As one who spent several weeks playing the game, I can attest that the game speeds up your heart rate, makes you laugh, enables you to communicate with other people, and teaches you strategy. None of those inherently sound bad. I mean, maybe speeding up your heart rate isn't the best thing for you, but I mean, your body naturally does that all the time. Every time that your body finds something exciting, your heart rate increases a little bit. I mean, that's just how your body works, you know? But, oh, you laugh? Wow, that sounds like it's going to be the fall of the entire society, man. Oh my god, you can communicate with other people and learn strategy? This sounds like the worst thing ever invented. All within the realm of a fantasy world, folks. A teacher told Education Week that all my kids talk about is Fortnite and that the game is uniquely distracting because other kids want to watch you play. As if there's never been anything on Earth ever that's ever, like, encapsulated children ever. Some parents even hire tutors to help their children become better at Fortnite. People play on the most sophisticated gaming platforms as well as their home computers and cell phones. I myself played on a cell phone. There's your problem, dude. You're an idiot. That's the problem. You played on cell phone and you think that that's the entire game experience. If you play any game on cell phone, that even especially like Fortnite where you can play it on anything else, you are automatically getting a worse experience than you should be getting. How do you expect to play a third-person shooter, never playing it before on a cell phone, and think that that's going to be like the greatest option you have? What a fucking simp, man. One popular Fortnite gamer, Richard Tyler Blevins, also known as Ninja, recently appeared on the cover of ESPN. That's because gaming is pretty much the biggest entertainment medium in the world now. And it's pretty much the only one that can really, I guess, like, kind of draw itself over several platforms. Like, you can watch gaming on television. You can watch gaming on your computer on the internet. You can play video games on a home console. You can use your smartphone as a gaming console now. I mean, come on now. Hundreds of thousands of people watch him and others play on the live video streaming platform Twitch, enabling him to amass a fortune of $500,000 a month. Okay, and students play or watch Fortnite in the evenings and on the weekends at the library and even in class, according to a survey by financial education company Lendadu. The average player spends between 6 and 10 hours per week playing the game, with 7% saying they play more than 21 hours per week. The average player spends about $85. This is the thing about all these different things, okay? These articles and stuff, they always quote this fact, okay? The average player spends about $85 on the game. You do realize that most games cost $60, and this is a free-to-play game, right? So, in reality, you're only barely paying just a little bit more than the average video game, and it's a free-to-play game. You get the whole thing for free. Okay, you don't even need PlayStation Plus to play it, I don't think. So this is just a weird statistic. They bring it up as if like people are going to be like, oh my god, and elderly people might. Elderly people might see that and be like, holy shit, almost $100 wasted on the game. Them goddamn Game Boys need to be banned. But nobody who knows anything about games is gonna be like $85. That's not good. That's basically like an upgraded edition of Call of Duty or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Society should also think about the health consequences of having children play violent video games for long stretches of time. Oh, great, here we go. In 2011, researchers at the Indiana University School of Medicine performed an analysis of the brains of groups of men. Half of the group then played a shooting game for 10 hours hours in a week, while the control group did not. When the researchers did a brain analysis, they discovered the group that played violent video games showed less activation of the parts of the brain that control emotion and aggressive behavior. Jesus, here we go. According to the lead researcher, Yang Wang, the findings indicate that a violent video game play has a long-term effect on brain functioning. What about the thousands, if not tens of thousands of studies performed by, the CDC, all these different universities and stuff that show and say constantly that, yeah, violent video games don't necessarily really affect any part of the brain. They don't necessarily make people more aggressive. They don't necessarily make them less emotional or unable to distinguish between reality. It's amazing how they cherry-picked this one analysis, right, from one university, and they were like, this is the only fact. This is the only potential study on this topic. Married couples around the world are already blaming Fortnite and other video games for the divorce. Well, I mean, I can also blame Long John Silver's for the smell of fish between some bitch's crotch. Doesn't necessarily mean she's got the $5 box down there. That didn't even make sense. That didn't even make any sense that I just said that. Why? Let me come up with something better. Hang on. Okay, that's like... now I'm completely discombobulated. That's like a 400-pound fat idiot blaming McDonald's for selling them Big Macs. When you divorce, I think maybe there's a little bit more problems than just somebody playing a video game. Just saying. One should not be quick to blame video games for active violence. Most children who play Fortnite, of course, will not reenact the game in real life. Defenders have noted that Fortnite is more cartoony than other shooting games such as Call of Duty and PUBG. That said, it still involves hacking other people with an axe or pointing your gun at them and trying to kill them. At a minimum, the game is not teaching young people to settle disputes with words. Oh my dude, shut the fuck up, okay? Shut up, dude. Not teaching young people to settle disputes with words. It's a shooter video game, okay? It is a game. They are not there to learn, okay? This is not, Little Tykes games or that little frog computer I had in my childhood, This is not... Dude, I am actually... I can't believe he said that. How much of a weirdo do you have to be to think that Fortnite should be teaching children to settle disputes with words? Finally, and most problematic, it trains children to think primarily of themselves and maybe a small circle of friends. Why? Because you have to survive? Yeah, they enter their own little world. For maximum enjoyment, they wear headsets and keep their hands glued to their keyboard and mouse. Yep, I can't move my... Watch this, guys. Can't move my hands. Can't move my hands off the keyboard. Did you hear that? Look, I got my controller, my PS4 controller. How do I get my hands off that when I'm playing a video game, huh? I don't know how to. I'm unable to control myself. I'm a wild animal. I'm plugged into the Matrix when I'm playing Fortnite. Sometimes players text or talk with other people or do playground mode, which is closer to Minecraft than a shooting game. People play by themselves in the Battle Royale version where the goal is to be the last survivor in a war against all. Wow. Can't believe that would be the case. So you thought it was dumb, and you thought it was bad. Wait until you see this. Threat to democracy. I didn't edit this article. That actually says that. Threat to democracy is actually in the article. An op-ed in Education Week argued that playing Fortnite is very similar to playing army men in the woods and building forts. This is, in my view, false. How is it false? The only real difference, fundamentally, is that in army men in the woods and building forts, that's in real life. And this other thing is a computer-simulated video game. Playing with your friends in a forest building real things and using your imagination is one thing. Playing by yourself in front of a screen building virtual things and manipulating ready-made images is another. You don't have to care about, cooperate with, or talk about other people or with other people to play Fortnite. You don't have to care about, cooperate with, or talk with other people to play Army Men in the Woods and building forts. I played alone a lot as a kid too. There wasn't a lot of children in my neighborhood, and it took a while before we all kind of got used to know each other and whatnot. I played outside by myself all the time with Nerf guns, pretending I was in the military and whatnot, This is the dumbest... Oh my god. In Democracy in America, the French political theorist Alexis de Tocqueville, dude, French people, please spell right, warned that the greatest threat to democracy is individualism, a disposition to isolate oneself from everyone other than a small circle of like-minded people. Yeah, because their political beliefs and being in a small echo chamber is actually dangerous. A child playing Fortnite and being in an echo chamber with his friends from school playing a video game is not the same thing. Individualism, you can have things that are good and bad, but when you get these little echo chambers, you get things like SJW idiots who think everyone has to think like them, and even though they're the vocal minority, everyone bends over to them. You can have people on the alt-right, like Nazis and, neo-Nazis, who think that white supremacy is the way to go, and they just sit there and circle jerk each other and think that they're right. That's politics. This is a video game about cartoon characters shooting each other and building, okay, and doing the floss after they're done stomping each other out. To even compare the two makes you look like a complete moron, and the fact that you're even a political theorist or whatever here is amazing to me if this is how stupid you really are. Fortnite, The combat zone contracts as the storm pushes you into closer proximity. This is an apt metaphor for the game. It shrinks your world so you only think about the survival of yourself and maybe a few members of your squad. No, I don't think that's necessarily what that means. I think realistically, the reason that that's there is so people actually, you know, have fun while playing the game and someone can't just sit in the corner of the map forever. But see, if you played the game, you would kind of realize that. So, did you really play the game? Fortnite might not only be the only violent video game that emphasizes individualism and survival, but given its current popularity and appeal on the planet, it pays to examine its effect on the individuals who will make up society as a whole. So, he thinks that it's going to make you more violent. He quotes one study from some university. It's not even like the most credible university in the world either. He doesn't cite any of the actual evidence from like government organizations, from more credible universities, from non-profit organizations that are dedicated to finding the truth on it, because the vast amount of studies outnumber what his beliefs are, so he's afraid to actually put that in there. I'm thinking he's lying about how much he's played the game. If he did play it, he probably played like 2 matches and then deleted it because he got killed pretty much like 8 seconds into the game and then just wrote an article. This dude's an idiot. Anyone who believes this stuff is an idiot, and I can't believe that people actually believe this stuff in the year 2019. It's the same thing. It's like back in the, you know, turn of the century. All them newfangled televisions and radios are gonna melt the children's brains. You kids are listening to that goddamn Def Leppard again. That's not music. That shit's devil speak. It happens all the time, man. Every generation deals with this. I'm sure once we become, you know, a childbearing generation, we'll probably be complaining about something that's really ineffective on children, and yeah, you know. Anyways, it's gonna be it for this video. You guys know it's kind of a longer video, but thank you for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're brand new around here on my channel. Follow me over on Twitter at @SubToOptimus. I post memes, thoughts, and updates over there. It's a surefire way to get notifications of all my newest content. Join the Discord down below. Lots of great things going on down there. Also, thank you to my channel members for your $5 a month. Your support helps my channel tremendously. If you'd like to become a channel member and help support my content for only $5 a month, you can do so by hitting the join button down below. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, becoming a threat to democracy because I played a game of Fortnite, and signing out.